Hello, everybody. This is Freakin' Rican from Freakin' Rican News Network. I'm bringing you a video today out of Dearborn Heights, Michigan. It says police contacted man before fatal shooting because he was acting strangely. Now, that's something we always hear with these with our First Amendment auditors out there, that they're acting suspicious, acting strange. It's strange to do this. It's strange that you're doing that. It's very suspicious. And because he was acting strangely, this man got shot, killed. It says a 38-year-old Redford Township man shot and killed by police early Sunday was not stopped because he was openly carrying a weapon, a legal action on public street. He was contacted by law enforcement when they saw him acting strangely out there, Michigan State Police First Lieutenant Mike Shaw said Sunday afternoon. He wasn't contacted because of the open carry law, so that's a myth. Shaw declined to discuss specifics of the resulting exchange between the man and Dearborn Heights police or answer a question about what led the officer to fire. He said officers have not yet been interviewed. Investigators from the Special Investigations Section are looking at video recovered at the scene and will go from there, he said. Says police initially were called about 3:30 a.m. to the area of Warren Avenue and Telegraph Road near the Boneyard Barbecue for an unrelated report of a distraught woman who was not located. Shaw earlier said in a taped briefing posted on the Metro Detroit State Police Twitter page. The officer observed the man walking with the rifle since recovered and said to be loaded, walking down Telegraph Road. The two exchanged words and the officer fired shots at the man. Shaw said police have not yet released how many shots were fired. This information could possibly be circulated Monday. Says when asked whether the 38-year-old fired, Shaw said that has not been determined. The weapon has to be sent to a laboratory for testing. As to what the man was doing or what his intentions were at the time, Shaw said investigators were still looking into this. The officer said have been part of the police force less than 5 years is on leave. Shaw said he would not see any reason why it would not be paid. State police are investigating the shooting at the request of the Dearborn Heights Department. Now, there's a lot of things that I don't like about this story. And they put such an emphasis on, first off, he was acting strangely, and that he was not stopped because it was an openly carrying a weapon. You know that's why he was stopped. If that wasn't the reason, they wouldn't have put it out there right off the bat. And the fact that he was acting strangely, but he was open carrying, and when they did end up shooting him, that the weapon was loaded. You gotta listen for these little key words that they keep using. So here's the interview right here.
Began. I'm here just behind Boneyard Barbecue and Grill, which is on Telegraph in Dearborn Heights, and standing next to me is First Lieutenant Mike Shaw. I know that your team has been on scene for a little bit, helping with this investigation. What can you tell us about how this all began?
So about 3:30 this morning, Dearborn Heights officers got a 911 call about a distraught woman in the area of Telegraph and Warren. When the officers responded out here, they did not locate that woman, but one of the officers noticed a white male that was walking along Telegraph Road with an actual long gun, a rifle. The officer stopped, took cover naturally, tried to engage the individual in conversation. There were some words exchanged back and forth. The officer fired rounds at the individual, striking him and killing him. Right now, the officer is a under 5-year veteran with Dearborn Heights. He's been placed on administrative leave. The Michigan State Police has assumed this investigation just for transparency, a request for the Dearborn Heights Department. So right now, basically what you see behind us is the first basic steps of what we'll do is evidence collection. That's the very first thing we want to do because evidence goes away pretty quick. We'll start do a video canvas. We'll start to interview officers and witnesses as we go along. And that's pretty much where we're at this point.
Okay, so you came out here for a call about a distraught woman. You ended up finding a man walking along the street with a long gun. Was he pointing the gun? Was it just dragging along the ground? Any information on that?
So he had the gun in his hands, so we're not quite sure yet where it was actually pointed at, if he pointed at officers, if he was just holding it, or what the conversation was. And that's something that we'll get into later on this afternoon. Again, our first thing is to get all the evidence that might go away, especially with the wonderful weather we've been having here for the last couple of days. Stuff gets washed away and we never get it back. So that's our first goal, is to kind of get all that evidence from the scene. I talked about it before in some of the interviews. We'll actually have one of our unmanned aerial aircraft that will fly over, get some photographs of the scene as well, along with our traffic crash unit will come out here and also do their part of plotting out all that evidence. So that's our real first goal, and then we'll start to talk to the officers about exactly what they saw and things like that.
Okay, so you're going to have a drone in the air getting an overview of the area where this happened, yep. Which is, it looks like it ended right there at the Boneyard Barbecue and Grill. What can those drone pictures actually tell you that you can't see from down here on the ground?
Well, they'll tell you a lot of things because, we get kind of a basic, real close view here. But when you get that drone up in the air, when it gets up so high, it kind of gives you an overall view of something else that, detectives might be an area where the suspect may have dropped something or may have done something. But mainly it's for pointing out evidence where it was. So in this case, if it goes to court, once we send it to the prosecutor and the prosecutor decides that they have a court case or something to that effect, and we use this in every case, not just officer-involved shootings, you can take those photos and you take that, and now the jury gets to look at it live. They see exactly where it happened, where the evidence is left behind. So it helps them out, it gives them a better picture, and it helps us out in solving these type of crimes.
It sounds like it'll help the investigation be even more thorough and more detailed, so you can really put together a clear picture of what happened.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. We so appreciate it. We'll continue following this and bringing you updates.
Now, you get a chance to look up that interview again. Look it up right here and listen to that lieutenant. The lieutenant should know a whole lot more than what he's saying that he knows. And he talks about transparency. It went from talking about this shooting to a drone in the air looking for evidence that the suspect might have dropped. Like, where did that come from? I don't understand. This was a shooting. And he told the lady that he doesn't know if he was pointing at anybody, but he made sure to let everybody know that he did have it in his hands. So there's a lot of things about this case that I do not like. And then apparently, maybe this morning, it says that MSP has cleared the officer involved shooting scene. The suspect has been identified as a 38-year-old male from Redford Township. A loaded gun has been recovered from the scene. We are in the process of examining video and talking to witnesses. Investigation is continuing. So they keep putting that it was a loaded gun. We don't know if he was pointed at anybody. He was acting strangely. We gotta look for evidence that he may have threw out. I mean, I don't know if these police officers have body cameras, but if he had a body camera, that probably would tell the whole story. And it seems like he is not being able to tell you anything. So when he talks about transparency, you see what kind of transparency he's talking about. He went from talking to the reporter about the incident, try to dodge her questions, and then put it to the next thing you know, we're talking about a drone, about how we're looking for evidence. And I mean, something just isn't right about this. So yeah, I'll try to keep updated on this as well. But Alright, guys. This is Freakin' Rican from Freakin' Rican News Network. And keep recording the police. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.